And you're welcome to Business Highlights on Trust TV, where we take a look at business economic development of the week. I am your host, Chamun Dabeng. Let's get started. We're opening the floor with the bull and the bear on the market. So let's take a look at how the Nigerian stock market performed this week. We're starting off with equity. Now, a total turnover of 2.798 billion shares worth 23.859 billion naira in 22,970 deals was traded this week by investors on the floor of the exchange, in contrast to a total of 1.374 billion shares valued at 23.786 billion that exchanged hands last week in 28,809 deals. And on ETP, that is exchange traded products, a total of 17,399 units valued at 933,567 naira were traded this week in 24 deals, compared with a total of 1.586 units valued at 24.867 million naira transacted last week in 22 deals. And on bonds, a total of 10,306 units valued at 10.78 billion naira were traded this week in 12 deals, compared with a total of 136,800 units valued at 149.010 million naira transacted last week in 23 deals. Now, index movement. The NGX All-Share Index and market capitalization was up by 0.36% to close the week at 47,437.48 basis points and 25.566 trillion naira respectively. All other indices finished higher with the exception of NGX Consumer Goods, NGX Oil and Gas, and NGX Industrial Goods, which was down by 0.52%, 2.22% and 0.13% respectively, while NGX ASEM, NGX Growth, and NGX Sovereign Bond indices closed flat. Now, to summarize the price changes, 36 equities appreciated in price during the week, higher than 22 equities in the previous week. 33 equities depreciated in price, lower than 49 equities in the previous week, while 87 equities remained unchanged, higher than 85 equities recorded in the previous week. Now, the top three gainers for the week were Presco PLC, which closed at 125 naira and went up by 19.62%. RT Briscoe PLC closed at 0 naira 73 kobo, going up by 15.87%, and Cornerstone Insurance PLC closed at 0 naira 74 kobo, up by 15.63%. And the top losers for the week were Ella Lakes PLC, which closed at 3 naira 12 kobo, losing out by 18.54%. May and Baker Nigeria PLC closed the day with 4 naira 45 kobo, down by 18.35%, and University Press PLC closed at 2 naira 49 kobo and was down by 14.43%. Now, that's all for the market. Well, today we're going to be skipping top stories and story of the week and moving straight to Business Inside, and you'll find out why right after the break. Don't go anywhere. You're welcome back to Business Highlights on Trust TV. My name is Chamun Dabeng, and we're moving on to Business Inside, where we talk to entrepreneurs about the nitty-gritty of their various businesses. On Tuesday, March 8th, was International Women's Day, so we're going to wrap up the week on that by focusing on women in business, especially women in male-dominated industries. Now, the entrepreneurial spirit in Nigerian women is strong, and in case you didn't know, Nigerian women account for 41% 40% ownership of micro businesses in Nigeria, with 23 female entrepreneurs operating within the segment. Now, this gives Nigeria one of the highest entrepreneurship rates globally. But is their entrepreneurship prowess born out of necessity or desire to become the founder of the next Fortune 500 company? What is holding Nigerian women in business back, and what can we do to place female entrepreneurs on the map? Joining me today to have this discussion is Rekiat Odunsi. Now, you're welcome to the show. Now, you're a woman who has been in a very male-dominated industry, which is the construction industry. Yeah. Now, going into it, what was it like for you? Were you welcomed with open arms, or, you had to really work harder in order for you to achieve what your male counterparts had actually achieved?
Okay, for me, I had to learn, I had to know why I'm in the industry. I have to have my clear-cut goals and what I wanted, and also to have idea of everything that is happening in the industry. And luckily for me, my husband is also into the construction industry, and I learned a lot of things from him. So before going, I can say that I was literally welcomed with an open hand, but not as expected when you're going to a field that there are other females there. But in the main industry, as you always know, there's this thing of saying that, look, what is she coming to do? Does she even know what she's doing? So for me, I had to have my values. I have to have my skill set. I need to be a professional. I need to go back and upskill the skills of what I've learned. I had to go back to learn the interior designs, woodwork, and a lot of stuff. So that when I'm coming to the industry, I'm not coming just to say I'm coming on the face value. I'm coming with as a professional. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm doing. I already have everything laid on the table. So it was a bit easy peasy, but I had to also work hard to get to where I am today. But
do you find yourself having to push harder than your male counterparts in the industry?
Yes, I do, because you have to prove your worth, number one. You also have to make them understand that you really know what you are doing. You know the technicality of what you are doing. You understand the language they are speaking. You have the whole team. You can work with a lot of other teams. And another thing is that, in the construction industry, once they know you have idea of what they are talking about or what they're asking you to do, and you are also open to learn. For me, I was able to learn from even they are the male, they are my bosses or my contractors or the clients and professionals. For me, and I work more with professionals, with architects, engineer, quantity surveyor, real estate developers. So I am always open to learn. I don't come as if I know everything. I come like, okay, I'm here to work as a team with you, despite the fact that you are paying me, but I really want to understand what you want, and I will give my best in the industry. So it was more like, you have to really know well. You have to do your homework properly before coming to the table. You just don't go in there and say anything, but you have to do your homework properly and make sure that everything they're asking you to do, you have the right answer, you have the right, you have the technical skills, you have all the things that have to be clean and clear for them to understand and be able to open their hands and teach you what you want to do.
All right, so let's take a look at the 41% of women who basically run the entrepreneurship sector, the micro businesses that we have. Okay. Why is it that women are stuck within that micro segment of it?
And basically, I would say it has to do with availability of fund and support. As you know, like in the micro industry in Nigeria, you have more of the people in the fashion industry, hairdressing, salon, baking soap, beauty products, selling of shoes, and a lot of other stuff that is easy for them to buy and sell. But when you talk of manufacturing, it has to do with more, how can we scale up? Where is the platform for them to be able to scale up? Assessing of funds, assessing of raw materials, logistics, a lot of other things, structure, accounting. It's more like, how can we have that synergy? For me, I always tell people that in the developed world, it's easy for them to synergize with other people to upscale their business. Most of the time, they kind of start small. When they start small, they go out and start looking for people that will partner with them, other manufacturer. Like, let's say, for instance, I'm going to make this your dress now. And I have to beat it. It's not anymore that I have to be the one that will beat it. I have to get the a designer that will be able to cut the clothes. That's a separate person. I need to now get a company that will be able to give me the clean, smooth and sewing of the dress. Then I'll need to get another company that will be able to do the stones and do. So sometimes, in most cases, it's really in a small form you get it, but not in that large scale.
Yeah.
So most of the time we are stuck with just producing as per what we can produce and sell. And in fact, the demand might be high, but the production is very minimal. So you have a lot of people doing the same thing at the same time, because their rate of production can only carry what they can do per time and per day. So that's why you see a lot of our industries, our women just doing it on the small scale all the time. But for the past 4 or 5 years, I've noticed that a lot of women are already upscaling, but still they still need a lot of support in terms of machineries, financial support, warehousing, logistics, exportation. It's a bunch of a lot of things. But you find out that these days we are getting there now.
All right, so I want to bring in or come down to, should I say, societal factors that actually influence women when it comes to them pushing their businesses. Now you talk about funding. Of course, funding is not just a gender-specific issue.
Yes.
There are men who are trying to get funding for their businesses but are also unable to do so. But, you know, there's always a process of you building up your business to where it's supposed to be. For example, when you listen to stories from Dangote who says, oh, I started my business with 500,000. But it's an issue of building up. Do you feel like sometimes women are stuck in a mentality where they feel like, oh, it just needs to be this small, this manageable, so that I can always come back home and take care of the husband or take care of the child? So, you know, they don't end up really pushing themselves to the point where they are running conglomerates.
No, for me, it's more like, yes, as you said, it's not only getting forward, it's not gender specific. But I would say it's more like, okay, you're running a business now. You know, to be able to open up your business for growth and expansion, there are some certain parameters you have to meet. There are some certain things you have to have. Like, is your books in place? Are your tax in place? Do you have the structure, your books, your team? Are they all already, you know, you have to think large. And most of the time, to even get the right team to work with you is also a challenge for women in business. Like I know I've been doing interview for a long time now, and I see a lot of young guys and young girls and boys who come to me and interview them. I see that this guy has a potential, but the challenge they have is they feel they are not being paid well. They feel that the money that is being paid, somebody is using them because it's a small business. So they are not looking at, okay, this is a small business. How I'm going to stay in this business to make it grow. I want to put my capacity and let's scale up and let's put everything in place to make sure that we're able to scale up. And also the owner of that business, are they seeing bigger than what they are seeing? It's to think globally now. Is to have the mindset to say, I'm thinking globally. I want to do something that I want my name to be outside the shores of Nigeria. I want to be #1 in Africa. I want to be part of number 10 or number 20 in the world. It's that mindset and having the capacity and having the right thing, choosing the right thing to be able to work with you. And also it has to do with a lot of time the kind of environment we play in and the kind of environment, as you said, a woman that is married, you have children, you have a lot of things to do. It really takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of logistics. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of resources to be able to start working in that part.
Because we practically do have a society that tells women, oh, be ambitious, but just this amount.
Just this amount, like
fly, but just fly this high, because you know you always have this responsibility or that responsibility, you know. But this is the reality of being, you know, the African woman. But now in a you know, global society where we have women who are founders of Fortune 500 companies. Now, about I think 8.2% of, you know, that figure is actually represented by women. So there are about 41 women on that list, even though it's really not a lot, because I think for men it's about 59%.
And
so the difference is a lot. So there are 41 women on that list. Only 2 of them are black and none of them are Nigerian.
It's very interesting, because I think I've seen it. You know, if you look at the other women that are already in that list, if you look at their businesses, many of them started small, and some of them grew because of where they work. Like they talk of Microsoft, those in the tech industries, those in the fashion industry, those in the beauty industry. They started from a particular company, and the company they're working with gave them the platform to be able to grow, bring in their own ideas, their own creativity, to get to scale up to what they had at that particular time. So I think for me, it has to do, as I will always say, that it has to do with how we see ourselves in this part of the world. We have few women in our industry in Nigeria that are also, if you look at their level of their business, how their business are. You talk about the Buko Awoshika, you talk about Mo Abudu, you talk about Alakija, you talk of Tara, many of them like that. And there's a lady in Abuja that does pap, and she exports pap to the US. So you could see that there are few women that are doing it, but the numbers and the visibility is not as focused as how they are over there.
It's actually a global issue. Yes. It's not just specific to Nigeria itself. Like even looking at the number of women who are part of, founders of the Fortune 500 companies, just 41, 8.2%. That's quite small.
That's quite small. Really, that's quite small. For me, I will say that, for women, like I will speak about we in Nigeria and my industry. We really need to look at more of synergizing. We need to look more of coming together and doing things that, yes, these are the things we want to do. And some of us are really lucky to have partners that are ready to support us. Despite the fact that you don't want to lose sight of family, your home, and also your business. Everything has to go at the same time and at the same pace. So, and when you're looking at, okay, you're growing, you're a young lady, you're trying to grow your family to a certain stage, there are a lot of things you have to sacrifice at that point. And that's why I always say that you have your goals set, that this is where I want to be in the next 10, 15, 20 years. Yes. Then from that day on, we need to now bring a lot of things on the table, getting the right set of people that are working with us, and having the resources to be able to, to get the right team is not cheap anymore in this part of the world. You have to pay well to get the right people. And even paying well to get the right people is to even how to manage these people properly. That plays also a key point in how you want the company to grow. So for me, it's more like, look, as you said, it's global, but at the same time, I'm not looking at the global world. I'm looking at our own locality.
Yeah, I'm where it actually affects you.
Where it affects me here. Whatever is affecting me here, I'm going to focus on it and work on it. So for me, it's more like, okay, how can I grow from where I am? So it's a very daunting, and it's really very taxing. I was thinking like yesterday that, okay, I want to grow. I was telling one of my friends, look, I want to leave where I am now. I want to go to a bigger space. I'm not looking, okay, how will I even get the fund? How will I even get the resources? But something in me now said, look, start and do. Don't think about the resources now. Start and do, and the resources will come. Start from where you are and grow globally. Because number one is how you think, it's how you look at the things that focus on, okay, this is how I want to do. I want to start producing this table. Is this how the international market are receiving this table? What are the things I'm going to do that will make the international market accept this? No, if you are doing international standard, you know that in Nigeria market, they will also accept it, because we are more like we consume a lot of imported things. But when we see that this thing is produced locally and it's coming out as if it's produced from China or from Europe or wherever country, you will get there. But it's more like putting all your hearts together, putting a lot of resources together, getting the right team, and building it from where you are, so we can get to where we want to be.
All right, so let's take a look at the assessment of women's participation and representation in the private sector. So these are women who are supposed to be board of directors, who are supposed to play on the management team. Now, looking at it, that's women versus men. Now, the women are representing only 19% of that versus 81% of the male representation that is out there. And for the management team, male versus female, 23% of women and 77% of men. Now, what do you make of these figures? Do you see these figures changing anytime soon?
Yes, I am. I believe so, because, as I said, I'm in a group of women that we call ourselves the W incubators. We are women that own our businesses, and we are growing the business, not trying to grow. We are growing our businesses to represent top the top 10 in our various industry. We have lawyers, we have real estate developers, we have furniture producers, we have those into the food industry. Being in the board it's for women now. We need to be seen now. We need to speak out. We need to show what we can do. It's easy and we have to be more in the mentoring industry. We need to mentor more people. We need to come out to tell people, okay, this is what we are made of, and this is what we can do, and show for it that, so this is what we are doing before you can say, okay, we can now be in the board. And being in the board doesn't come as if somebody will just pick you up and you put it in the board. You need to show your worth. You need to show the kind of person, the kind of stuff you are made in. You need to show, okay, this is what I'm doing and this is what I've done with my business. And it's a work in progress. You must not be the perfect CEO. You must not be the perfect entrepreneur. You must not be the richest person to be in the board. It's to show that, look, I can make decisions. I've done A, B, and C from where I'm coming from. So to come into the board, I can also give, my voice must be heard, my voice needs to be heard, and I can give value to where I'm going. So I think, I say it because now we are studying, it's interesting because we are studying how to be on board meetings, because we have a challenge that many of us have to be in the board meeting this year. So every time we read a lot of books, we come to the table, we try to analyze and look at other women, because even we study men too. If a man, because he's a man, he's a human being.
All right. So while I was actually doing the research, I had seen a particular article that said that there are more male-dominated board of directors than there was even in the past. And this is at a time where we're supposed to be moving forward globally. So there's supposed to be more discussions about gender inclusion, but instead, when it comes to the board of directors, there's barely any female representation. And this is something that is seen not only when it comes to this type of representation, but even political representation within Nigeria itself. Like even the cabinet, only 11%. That's what we're sitting with. And look at bringing it down to the business world. Of course, we still need to, have a discussion on the political influence that it has on, gender inclusion when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to, women being on board of directors, when it comes to women being key major players in the financial sectors or in businesses that boost the economy. Women are not really there.
No, women are not really there. No. For me, I still come back and say we are getting there already, because with the trend of things these days, now from the news I'm hearing, you go to you want to register your company, you want to put board of directors in your company, they will tell you need to have a representation of certain numbers of women. And I've had cases whereby I need to apply for some grant, I need to apply for upgrade, I need to expand my business, and they're asking me how many women are working with you, how many women are in your board of directors. Now I have to start changing those things and making sure that in my board of directors, I need to have at least 3 or 4 women in my board to be able to gain that attention I want to gain from the international bodies. So I think it's changing these days, but it's just that we are taking it gradually at a time, taking it step by step. And as a lot of women, we are afraid of ourselves again, because we feel that what will a woman come and do for us? What will a woman come to the board and tell me? But I will tell you that I know a couple of women that when they are on board, they are doing marvelously. So I don't think that, even if this research is saying that, okay, there are a lot of more men in the board than women, I will tell you that from my own reality, there are women that are already coming on board, and I know women that are already on board. So it's more like, let the statistics keep going, keep doing the research, and you will see that things are already changing. But it might not be in as much as what we want to see in the industry. But in Nigeria, I could see that a lot of things are changing, because I have a friend now, she's running in partner with a school, an institute in Nigeria, and she's the brain behind everything. And most of the people that are coming on board are all women. So I really, as you said, I really want the whole world to see that, look, women are already getting there. It's for we to open our eyes, and we women should come out and speak. Because if you don't come out and speak for yourself, if you don't show what you are worth, if you don't show these are the things I'm doing, nobody's going to speak out for you. And once we are able to identify the women and we support these women, we'll be able to take a lot of space in the cabinet. That's what I feel, because A lot of my friends are talking, a lot of my friends are on social media, they are trying, advocating seriously, because it has to change, and it's time for it to change. I think this is the time for it to change.
All right, so before we round up, my final question, I don't know if you've been following the news, but yes, there were protests on March 8th coming from women due to the rejection of the gender bill that, you know, we're trying to push to have more of a sense of inclusion when it comes to participating in these areas like politics and finance and, you know, the economy itself.
Yes.
But yes, they actually did come out to protest and speak up against it. So they are actually speaking up.
Yeah.
Now, what are your thoughts on, you know, this rejection? How does it affect women, you know, playing in the economic sector itself?
It's affecting, because for me personally, it's affecting everything. It's really interesting when, as a woman, you could see that there's a challenge, and you have solution for the challenge, and nobody is giving you the platform to be able to prove yourself as, okay, this is the challenge I'm facing, and this is the challenge I've seen, and we are ready to give a solution, and giving the chance to even put that into action. It's not about coming to say I have a solution. You are giving points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 10 points, and it's just on paper. There's no action coming from it. Nobody's doing anything about it. So I think for women to come out to talk is really, really, really very encouraging. And the more we talk, the more we come out subtly. You know, we are women, so we still need to have that feminized touch in whatever we are doing. But our voice needs to be heard firm, and with all values that we have, and everything will be okay.
All right, thank you very much. You've heard the phrase, what a man can do, a woman can do better. So yes, it's time for women to actually come out, speak up, and take control when it comes to running and, you know, creating those Fortune 500 companies.
Yes.
Well, I'm hoping that this year we'll find a Nigerian woman on that list. You know, she's going to be number 42. So we're hoping to see that. All right, thank you so much, Mrs. Rekiat Odunsi, for being a part of the show. And to all our viewers, thank you so much. We'll be back next weekend. Enjoy your day.
Thank you.